Am I the a-hole for refusing to help my family after my sister got them into financial trouble? I, 34M, have always had a complicated relationship with my sister Megan, 30F. Growing up, she was the golden child, good grades, popular, the usual story. Meanwhile, I was the quiet kid who kept his head down and worked hard. We were never close, but I thought we at least had a basic level of respect for each other. That was until last weekend when everything blew up. A little bit of background. About 18 months ago, Megan wanted to start her own business, a mobile nail salon. She needed a $15,000 loan to purchase equipment, supplies, and a second-hand van to convert. The problem was her credit was terrible. She's always been terrible with money, maxing out credit cards and getting store cards she can't afford. No bank would touch her loan application with a 10-foot pole. I was already side-eyeing this whole thing anyway due to her history, which we're all well aware of, so she turned to our dad, 62NM. Dad's a retired electrician, worked hard his whole life, owns his home outright, and has excellent credit. He's always had a soft spot for Megan. When she batted her eyelashes and talked about how this business would finally give her the stable income she needed, he agreed to be her guarantor. Mom, 60F, wasn't happy about it, but Dad insisted Megan had grown up and would make the payments. I mean, she's his daughter, right? Ugh, just don't get me started. For about a year, everything seemed fine. Megan would mention making payments whenever we had family dinners. She'd post pictures of her mobile nail salon on Instagram, and it looked like she was getting a decent number of clients. Dad seemed relieved, and even Mom had started to believe Megan had finally gotten her act together. Fast forward to last Saturday. I was visiting my parents for lunch when there was a knock at the door. Dad answered and came back looking like he'd seen a ghost. 2 bailiffs were at the door with official-looking paperwork. Apparently, Megan hadn't made a single payment on her loan in the past 6 months. Not one. And because Dad was the guarantor, they were there to assess what items could be repossessed to cover the debt. It was all heated as they wouldn't leave, and one of them already had his foot literally in the door, and apparently that legally entitles them access. Not sure on this, but doesn't matter. The loan company had been trying to contact Megan for months with no response. They'd sent multiple letters to Dad as well, but we later discovered Megan had been intercepting his mail. She has a key to their house and often stops by when they're out. By the time the bailiffs showed up, the debt had grown to over $20,000, with late fees and interest. My dad was devastated. He's 62, retired, and suddenly facing a massive debt. The bailiffs took inventory of his belongings, including his car, his woodworking tools, his retirement hobby, and even assessed the value of the furniture. They gave him 2 weeks to either pay up or they'd come back to take the items. Mom was in tears. I was furious. After the bailiffs left, I called Megan immediately. She didn't answer. I texted her. Nothing. Finally, I drove to her flat and found her packing her car. She tried to act surprised to see me, but I think she could see I was pissed and put 2 and 2 together. When I confronted her, she broke down crying, saying the business had failed months ago. She'd been pretending to still run it while actually working at a pub. She claimed she meant to catch up on the payments, but never had enough money. Instead of talking to Dad or the loan company about it, she just ignored it until it was too late. The worst part? She had spent the loan money not just on business supplies, but also on a holiday to Spain, new clothes, and other luxuries. The van she bought was sitting outside her flat with a flat tire, filled with boxes of unused nail products. I lost it. I told her she needed to empty her bank accounts, sell whatever she could, and give Dad every penny. She cried and said she was sorry, but couldn't afford to pay anything right now. Then she had the audacity to ask if I could help her with money to sort this out. I refused. I told her she needed to face the consequences of her actions for once in her life. She accused me of being jealous of her and stormed off. I mean, maybe there is some resentment for the way we were differently treated, but still doesn't excuse this shit. I went back to my parents' house and helped Dad contact a debt advisor. We're trying to work out a payment plan, but it's going to seriously impact their retirement. Dad's entire pension might go toward these payments for years, but in all honesty, I'm starting to lose a bit of sympathy, and here's why. Megan has been blowing up our family WhatsApp group, telling everyone I'm cruel and unsupportive. She's convinced our aunt and a few cousins that I'm being heartless when she's going through a hard time. Meanwhile, she's posted pictures of herself at a pub quiz last night, seemingly without a care in the world. I've blocked her number for now. Dad is still defending her, saying she made a mistake and we need to help her. Mom is torn between supporting Dad and being furious with Megan. I've told my parents I'm done with Megan. I won't be at any family gatherings if she's there. I've also refused to contribute any money toward paying off her debt, even though I could probably afford to help a bit. I told them they should let the bailiffs take her stuff first before losing their own possessions, which I later found out her possessions won't clear the debt anyway, but Dad thinks I'm being vindictive, but I think she needs to learn there are consequences to her actions.